Thanks for joining us this week on Connection here on TKO8 Television. I'm Dennis King. My cohort Tabitha Odegaard, unfortunately under the weather today, so she couldn't join me. Of course, she adds a lot to the show, and we hope she gets a speedy recovery and can join me next week on our show. Of course, Connection is a show we have each week where we have different organizations and people from those organizations come in to talk about what's important to you, what's going on around our six-county broadcast area here. And today we've got two different individuals talk about two different programs that I think you will enjoy. We'll take a quick break, be back in a moment, and talk with Randy Skaggs from North Arkansas College.
Dental Creations on the Square in Harrison is the go-to place for all your denture services. We know how to get good results. We save you time and money because our lab is on site. A dental office you will like and trust. Dental Creations on the Square in Harrison, next to Harness Boots. Just look for the big red boot next door. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our first guest in the studio today, new to us here and new to you because he just moved into Harrison recently. He is with North Arkansas College, and it's Randy Skaggs. Randy, thank you so much. Randy is Director of Admissions at North Ark, and we're sure pleased to have you with us in the studio. And, of course, I've met you, met with you, and we're glad to have you in Harrison, Randy.
Thank you. It's been really good to be here.
You just quickly moved here from?
Moved here from Batesville, Arkansas.
Batesville?
Yes.
I always thought Batesville and Harrison was kind of similar town-wise.
There are a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Both very nice towns to live in, nice surroundings with the countryside.
Clean area.
Clean area.
They are on the beautiful White River. We're on Crooked Creek, not quite as dramatic.
Well,
both have streams running.
That's right. That's right.
So.
Both river towns.
Okay, today we're going to. I know you're changing some things up at North Ark, kind of the way that the admissions part of it, and that's your role. Today we're going to talk about a education expo that really kind of starts, I guess I should say, starts the registration period for the spring semester. Is that correct?
That is right. That's exactly right. Spring registration is coming soon. November 14th is actually the first day that new students or returning students can register for classes or enroll into classes for the spring semester. And we're really just using this as a launch day. And we would really like for the community to come out and look at what North Ark has to offer and remind everybody of all the good programs that we have and services.
I think that's good to have kind of maybe a little more hoopla, I'll call it, to kick off your registration. And not that they haven't done a good job in the past, but to have a one-day event to kind of be the rollout. And then, of course, the registration period would go on through into middle of January, I guess. But what type of information, I guess, if somebody was going to go to this, what will they see out there, Randy?
Well, we're going to have there's a lot of participation on campus. We have 35 internal vendors right now that are registered. I think there are a few more programs that will that are going to register in the next few days, and so. All of our departments, all of our services, they're each going to have a booth, a table, so that the community can just come in and we'll just walk through and ask questions and gather information. We're going to have hot dogs provided by Community First Bank. Pepsi has donated some drinks as well, and we will throw in some chips and some cookies and
make a fun event out of it.
We're trying to make a fun event. Okay. It only lasts for 2 hours.
Okay. From
5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, November 14th.
Okay.
Next Thursday. So it should be a real fun event, but more than that, we hope that it's going to be an event that a lot of people can gather a lot of information if they have questions.
Now, Randy, you going to have this in the Pioneer Pavilion, or where are you going? Where are you?
No, we're actually going to have it in the Bradley Student Center.
In the Bradley Student,
yes, it'll be there on the South Campus in the Bradley Student Center. We're going to use the Allied Health Wing as well. So if you're interested in healthcare, we have our surgical tech lab or medical tech lab, the nursing lab. They will all be kind of like an open house event.
Boy, it's beautiful out there.
It is, and they have some really state-of-the-art equipment,
Yes.
and we really want to showcase that.
That, of course, North Ark is, for those of you living in the area have been here for a while, know that, particularly not only because of that particular area, but in healthcare, been one of the leaders in the state of Arkansas and in the region when it comes to healthcare programs, everything from LPN, RN, techs, all types of things in the medical. And the new healthcare addition to the college is just beautiful. I mean, I think it was much needed because they needed the space because of the size of the programs, and it's really added a lot to that.
It's very impressive. It really is.
Randy, who would want to attend this expo?
Well, this will serve a large population. It may be someone that's always wanted to go to college. They just never took the steps. Not really sure what the steps are. Not sure how they would pay for college. This is a great time to come and gather that kind of information to find out what financial aid is available and how it works. What is the process? Maybe you're not sure what you would like to do. We will be set up to maybe answer some of those questions and just gather some information. Might be parents of a high school senior or junior that are looking at their options, or maybe a high school student themselves. It could be someone that is actually in the healthcare field or in industry, and they're wanting to advance their career and looking at the next step to make that advancement. Maybe a father that's lost their job, maybe wanting to be retrained in a different field. A mother that's been home with her children, ready to get back to school and get into the workforce. So it's really open to anyone that's in any situation where they are thinking about or looking at the possibility of going back to school and training for a job or for a 4-year degree.
Excuse me. Another thing, since I know it's a 2-hour window that you're going to be having this, you mentioned the opportunity to look at the new Allied Health Center. If somebody came out maybe that's never been on the campus, will they have an opportunity to kind of walk around and see some of the areas?
We can do that. More than likely what we'd like to do is really set up a time.
Let them come back.
And let them come back, and we would take time with an individual campus tour and really take time for the individual.
Okay. I would assume that would probably be much better to do that type of thing. The one thing that I know a lot of people are concerned about these days with the economy like it is, let's talk a little bit about, and I know this is not on our notes, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but there's a lot of financial assistance programs for traditional and non-traditional people that either, again, want to go to school, maybe that haven't already, or maybe are attending but feel like they can't afford it, or a non-traditional maybe that's lost their job in the workplace and need to go back and re-educate in some other field. The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is one that a lot of people maybe don't quite understand or don't know about. They know it's a lottery, but they didn't pay attention on the front end. The whole reason it was voted in was because of that.
Right. It is to support education, and so that Arkansans can go to school. And it is for the high school senior that's graduating, but there also is a non-traditional track.
Okay.
So it is there is eligibility for anyone if you meet that, and so the Arkansas Challenge Lottery Scholarship.
I'm not sure they changed the name of it, but
that's right. The history is that there was a scholarship called the Arkansas Challenge, which was for high school seniors, and they really. They didn't do so much to do away with the scholarship, but they really combined it and funded it with the lottery, with the Arkansas Lottery.
Maybe something else you might want to talk about, Randy, is I know that college has gone through. I apologize. I got that. What we're talking about.
That's right.
If you have association with other four-year colleges where people can go on after their associate's degree, maybe talk just a little bit about that.
Right. What we have are some articulation agreements, and it's really like a 2+2 type program. We have several academic programs that are lined up with Arkansas Tech, where they can begin with us, finish their 2 years, and then transfer on to Arkansas Tech to complete 2 or 3 of their different type of degrees. We have recently aligned with the agricultural department at the University of Arkansas. So there are several ag business and ag type degrees where you can begin here for 2 years, transfer to the University of Arkansas, and finish up that ag degree. And so we have several of those 2+2 type articulation agreements. It's not that we really have a partnership with them, but we have aligned our courses with them so that it can be a smooth transition and from our institution to their institution. And in some instances, those last 2 years can be done online. So you would not necessarily have to leave your home. And so you can begin here at North Ark locally and then finish up with the online courses at a 4-year university.
And I know that one thing that you've pushed through the years is the fact that the courses that you take at North Ark, unlike maybe years and years ago, some of them were not transferable, but it is a North Ark. Your basic courses are.
Yes, North Arkansas College is fully accredited. Our courses will transfer to the university, whichever university you would like to transfer to. The Arkansas transfer system that was established a few years ago, you can actually go online. There's a website that the state provides, and you can access that through northark.edu. and you can actually put in North Arkansas College transferring to whichever university in the state of Arkansas you want to transfer to, and it will show you a list of courses that are designed to transfer to them. And there are courses that will transfer outside of that as well. It all depends upon, the key is what is the end result that you're wanting to achieve. Which degree are you pursuing at which college? And that's really where you have to look at the electives that you choose at North Ark. Anytime you're transferring schools, the courses may transfer, but what you really need to look at is where you're wanting to end at, so that when you choose your electives here, that they may transfer, but if you really want them to help you in your degree, you need to look at what is required for that end degree.
Right.
And so
before you do.
Right. But we have advisors in place. We have an advising center that we have tremendous advisors. They have tracks, they have the plans, and they know exactly what will work for what you want to achieve.
That's great, and making it easy on people.
Yes,
because it is. It's somewhat complicated, and once you know kind of where you want to go, you want to make sure you don't waste any time achieving that goal.
That's exactly right.
So that's it. Well, Randy, we've about run out of time today. I do want to let's bring up one more time the expo. It's November 14th
from 5 o'clock to 7 p.m. I say 7 o'clock, but if we have people, we will stay open.
Sure.
Because that's the whole purpose, whole design for it. It's not for us, it's for the community. And we have over 50 degrees and certificates to offer, and we have all kinds of services that is available to make sure that every student is successful.
Very good. And of course that kicks off the registration for spring, which goes through January the 16th.
It goes through January 16th. Okay. Classes actually start January 13th.
Okay.
Remember, we are closed for a couple weeks during Christmas, so anyone that's thinking about it, it's time to get started.
Very good. Randy Skaggs, thank you so much for coming in today, and it's a pleasure to have met you before and a pleasure to have you on. We do a lot of things for the college and worked with them for many years, and we appreciate you being here and being a part of that. Don't forget about the expo coming up, the Education Expo, November 14th. Goes from 5 till 7 p.m. It'll be in the Bradley Center, South Campus, North Arkansas College. Great time to go out and talk to some people. If you're interested in doing something down the road, they can certainly answer your questions. Stay with us. We'll be back on Connection in a moment and talk with a young lady about a big program for kids during the holidays.
Harrison, Arkansas, a town where business is personal. A Health Mart town. Pharmacist Tara Wilmot owns her Health Mart pharmacy. Here, Tara offers free one-on-one prescription medication consultations, providing information to customers in a way that makes them feel comfortable, not confused. Expert knowledge, personal attention. It's what makes Tara a Health Mart pharmacist and Harrison a Health Mart town. Your town is a Health Mart town. So visit your locally owned Health Mart today.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, as I mentioned at the start of the show, my co-host Tabitha Odegaard is under the weather, so she wasn't able to join me today, and we hope she gets feeling better to be back on the show next week. Our next guest in the studio today is Deborah Smothers and Summers. I said Smothers. I was thinking of somebody else. Summers. And Deborah, you were with us last year, and we're going to talk about Operation Christmas Child. Very, very big program. And how do you get time to do this with your other stuff?
You know, I guess that expression is, if you want to get something done, ask a busy person.
Yeah, that's you. That's why you get it done.
Yes.
That makes sense. Operation, tell us a little bit of just a scenario. What is it?
Well, Operation Christmas Child is a part of an organization called Samaritan's Purse. And Samaritan's Purse was started by Franklin Graham, who I'm sure everyone's familiar with Billy Graham. It was started by Billy Graham's son, Franklin Graham. And Samaritan's Purse is a relief organization that sends relief to countries where there's been disasters, natural disasters, internationally as well as domestically. And so a part of that organization is called Operation Christmas Child. And Operation Christmas Child was started in 1993 by Franklin Graham. And what they do is they fill shoe boxes full of toys, hygiene supplies, different items like this, and then they send them overseas to children who have, never ever had a Christmas gift, nor has ever had the ability to celebrate Christmas. And through that, in each box is an opportunity for the children to know the Lord and come to the Lord. And so this organization started in 1993. So
it's a religious based.
It is a religious based organization. Basically, when Franklin Graham originally started this, he had decided he'd gather up a few shoe boxes. This is just a really great story. He had gathered up a few shoe boxes in their actual location for their where their corporate location is in Boone, North Carolina. And he said, let's fill up a few shoe boxes and let's go ahead and send them overseas. And so his secretary came to him when he was there, and she said, someone has some shoe boxes. And he said, well, just tell them to put them in the foyer. And his secretary said, you don't understand. They have 1,000 boxes. And so from that point, it just kind of snowballed. And last year, Operation Christmas Child celebrated their 20th year and gave out their 100 millionth box last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was it's quite an amazing feat, to be able to do that. So
do you get as an organization? I'm assuming this is a national organization. This is all over the country, right?
Right.
Do you get a lot of support through churches across the country?
A lot of churches, a lot of civic organizations, a lot of people support Operation Christmas Child. I think last year in Boone County we collected 1,119 boxes.
Wow. And
this year our goal is 2,200. And so we're just so far the response has been really phenomenal in Boone County. But I always feel like I'm that kind of person that says I just want one more box.
Right.
Just give me one more box, to touch a child for Christ. And so it's just been, the outpouring of support has been really wonderful.
Now, you mentioned that these boxes go to children overseas or around the world. Now, what about the U.S.? Do you also do
I get that question a lot. A lot of people say, well, there's a lot of poor, within the U.S. What does Operation Christmas Child do within the U.S.? Operation Christmas Child, this part of Samaritan's Purse it goes overseas internationally.
Okay.
But Samaritan's Purse does a lot of relief work within the U.S. And so what they do within the U.S. is typically through Samaritan's Purse, but Operation Christmas Child is specifically designated for international, to send it overseas.
Okay.
And so there's probably, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's possibly 100 or 110 countries that are impacted by Operation Christmas Child.
Okay. So Samaritan's Purse is kind of the originating organization.
Right. They do more domestically within the U.S. They also, Samaritan's Purse also does relief, overseas, like when Haiti experienced the earthquake and different things like that, or floods or tsunamis or things like that. Samaritan's Purse will go overseas, but they do a lot of things domestically, like with Sandy, when Sandy hit the East Coast, from the fires, different things like that. Samaritan's Purse takes care of that part of the ministry.
Okay, the shoebox itself, if someone out here watching the show, they want to get involved in this program, what goes in the shoebox? What would they put in there? Just examples, I guess.
Examples, I would say hygiene items, toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap, washcloths, underwear.
Sure.
Toys, coloring books, pencils. A lot of these kids, when they get, if they get pencils or paper within that shoebox, that gives them the ability to be able to go to school.
Okay.
If they don't have school supplies, they can't go to school. And when we put those kinds of things in, we've heard that children have been able to go to school because they have those, items in there, in there. Obviously, toys, you can't have Christmas without toys. And you can't have Christmas without candy, so you've got to get the toys and the candy in there.
Right.
So
and then other items,
right,
more usable items.
Right, and you don't want to put liquids in there. You don't want to put anything that has to do with Army, because a lot of times you're sending these boxes to war-torn countries. That's not something that you want to remind kids of. So just other items, other different kinds of toys, that are appropriate, and you can pick your age group. You can do 2 to 4, 2 to 4 year old. You can do 8 to 10 year old, or I think 12 to 14 year old. You can determine if you want to do a boy and a girl of those for one of those ages, and then buy accordingly. So
okay, so the shoe boxes themselves. If I want to donate, do I go get a shoebox and fill it, or do I just bring the products to a location and you put them in a box?
You can do either or.
Okay.
I mean, we're collecting shoe boxes this year at Real Ministries. It is at 111 Spring Street, right across from City Hall. Everybody should know where City Hall is. It's right across from there. If you want to bring items to us, we'll find boxes to pack them in.
Okay.
If you want a box, you can take a shoe box. And if you have a size 16 Nike shoebox that you want to pack up, that's
okay. So it doesn't
wonderful.
have to be consistent.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, you can bring any kind of shoebox that you want. Sometimes we encourage people to get the little plastic totes to fill those totes full, because a lot of times the kids will use those to transport water after the gifts are taken out.
Okay.
Of it.
So there's no hardcore,
no,
you got to do this size box.
No.
It's got to be, so they can bring anything they want. It's like a plastic box.
No.
Now, do you actually wrap these boxes?
We can wrap them. They don't have to be wrapped.
Okay.
I heard one story about a particular girl who was in, I believe it was Eastern Germany or Romania, I believe, in Romania during the time of communism. And she talked about receiving a shoebox, and she did say that when her box was wrapped, it was so, being in a communist country, she said it was always, everything was bleak and dark and bland and no color. And she said when she got the box that was wrapped on the outside, she said it was just a thrill to look at the wrapping paper. And she took the wrapping paper and she took it off of her box and she folded it up and she put it away, and she would just look at the wrapping paper. She said that when she got older, she met a man who was from the U.S. and she came to the States. She said when she had her first Christmas, she said they all sat down with his family and they were opening up presents and they were just taking the wrapping paper and they were throwing it away. And it's like she almost panicked because she wanted to save, every piece of that wrapping paper. And so I think, sometimes our mentality of, if you've never been out of the country, if you've never been to a third world country, sometimes we say, well, there are poor kids in the U.S., and I believe that, and I understand that. But the poorest of the poor in the U.S. can't even compare a lot of times from what you're looking at
Sure.
in a third world country. So, it's just a different, they just live a whole completely, different lifestyle. And some of these kids have never had a gift, never had a toy, ever in their entire life. So it's pretty impressive to see it when they get get their box.
The program that you've got going now, it goes from when to when? When's your collection period?
We're going to start collecting at Real Ministries from November 18th through the 25th.
November 18th through the 25th, okay.
And if people are not sure, our collection times are going to be Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6:30. Saturday, it's going to be, I believe, from noon until 6. Sunday, we'll go 1 until 6. And that following Monday, which is going to be real early, 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning, because we have to transport those boxes to Mountain Home.
Okay.
So if people want to know more, they can go to www.samaritanspurse.org. They can plug in the zip code for Harrison, and it'll tell you, where we're collecting,
Okay.
the times that we're collecting. And you can find all that information online if they need
Okay,
it.
so let me make sure I get the dates on this. You'll be collecting from November
The 18th
18th
through the 25th.
25th at Real Ministries,
Right.
which is easy to find right across from City Hall there. Okay. Anything else? We got a couple minutes that we need to tell the public about this program, other than you just need to get as much as you can to send.
Right, like I said, our goal is 2,200 boxes. Every box matters. If you don't want to pack a box, if you want to give a donation, each of these boxes that are shipped costs $7 per box to cover the shipping on this. If you want to give cash donations, you can always bring that. You can bring that to the collection center, and we'll make sure that that's forwarded to.
Okay.
To Operation Christmas Style, to Samaritan's Purse. They'll put it to great use. Once we collect all of the boxes from Boone County, they'll be going to Mountain Home. From there, they go to huge distribution centers.
And then they go.
And then they go. They make sure they check the boxes, make sure there's no liquids in them, nothing
Right,
in them
before they ship them.
Before they ship them over. And so there's every year there's probably 60 to 70,000 volunteers that come in these processing centers
Right.
to get these shoe boxes out.
Well, Deborah, we really appreciate you coming in today and talking about this. I enjoyed you telling us last year about the program, and obviously it was a success last year, but this year you'd like to get 2,200 or so, whatever, as much as you can, obviously,
Absolutely.
do this. And for you to dedicate your time, which you obviously have a full-time job and you're doing this on the side, but that means a lot. So, and thank you for your help in this.
Thank you for having me. I
You're
appreciate
quite
it.
welcome. Thanks for getting a hold of us here. Don't forget, Deborah Summers talking to us today about Operation Christmas Child. They will be collecting November the 18th through the 25th at Real Ministries. That's the church right across from City Hall. Big church, so you can't miss it. And most of the time in the afternoons, you can go down by there and they'll tell you when if you forget about it, or you can go online. But it's a very worthwhile program. I hope you get involved in it. Deborah, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on Connection this week. We appreciate you joining us every week as we try to get information out about what's going on around the area. We'll see you again next time.
Local television worth watching. KTKO Channel 8, Harrison.